Hi, I'm Yoon, and today I'm going to explore OpenAI's ChatGPT and dissect it in parts to give a holistic view of what this new technology is so that the user can better understand it before using it. So, what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is simply a chatbot launched by OpenAI in November 2022, and it is a quite hot potato these days, well beyond tech industry and all the way to academia and artist fields. Well, since it's able to communicate, why don't we ask to ChatGPT about it? Based on what it answered, ChatGPT is an NLP-based large language AI model that can generate human-like text. Then, what is ChatGPT's mission? When I asked ChatGPT about it, it said that it's to benefit all of community. It also answered that ChatGPT and similar models can help improve humanity by making technology more accessible, more engaging, and more efficient, which can ultimately lead to better outcomes for individuals and society as a whole. So I interacted with ChatGPT for both creative and productive purposes in order to investigate how I can actually improve productivity and efficiency in regards to doing my real tasks. First of all, for creativity, I asked ChatGPT to write about a short fiction about Uber for Biospheres, which I took the idea from a movie called Glass Onion. It was pretty astonishing that it generated the whole new term of eco-rides, which seems to be a new mobility application that ChatGPT created just now. The critical terms, including climate change, network of biosphere, immersive, conservation, and preservation, seemed quite plausible and aligned what I had in the prompt. And I also had a second interaction to write a short poem about child equals NFTs in dystopian style, and it generated an original poem about it with classical rhymes. When I asked for a creative musical suggestion for an innovative drum beat, it also gave me some suggestions that can open up for more creativity in playing drums. When I asked the same questions with some changed, the words and content got changed a little bit, but the overall orientation of the content was the same. Lastly, I also got some creative suggestions for my birthday presents, and it definitely helped me out making the decisions easier. My reflection on the creativity side of ChatGPT is that it has strengths, that it is able to generate human-like text with originality, and it can assist brainstorming ideas for creative works, and it can suggest various ideas that are somewhat plausibly related to the prompt that user put in. On the other hand, it has downsides that it may lead people to overly dependent on the technology so that people will stop bringing about creative ideas by themselves anymore and may degrade the value of existing creative artists' work. Next, I also exploited ChatGPT for improving my productivity in my real tasks. First, when I asked a question from my data science class, it clearly and nicely answered the instructions. And I tried to ask some of the mathematical questions too, and it answered me right away. And I also asked ChatGPT to give me some suggestions on my UX research class, and it gave me a list of target users right away, which I usually have after spending some time doing research through searching the internet. Furthermore, it assisted me from the brainstorming to the research process, which saved my time a lot with helpful information. Lastly, I asked to generate social media content to criticize ChatGPT by using actual news articles. However, it responded that it cannot produce criticizing or spreading negative information. So when I asked again with a change prompt from criticize to promote, it generated multiple phrases with hashtags. And also it reminded me that the articles might not be accurate or exist with a suggestion of fact checking the information. Even though the suggestions alerts the user to fact check, I thought there's still a security and privacy risk if it brings any personal data into its answers. Even though there is some concern in technology, my reflection on productivity is that it is quite an effective search engine. It seems knowledge workers may integrate informative assistance from AI if the information is reliable enough. Furthermore, I also imagine that new applications can be possible based on the reinforcement learning from human feedback mechanism, which placing personal documentation such as old diaries as the input data set of learning may build a way to communicate with old self. To explore more about ChatGPT's capabilities, I asked some moral questions that are also difficult to answer for humans. It does show some paragraphs or searchable answers. And considering the fact that ChatGPT is an AI model, I assume that it doesn't have logical thinking, but just meticulous algorithms of datasets. And there is still its limitation on their capabilities. Throughout the interaction with ChatGPT, it feels like I'm talking with a smart, honest friend. It helped me out with researching certain project ideas. I could feel a certain sense of relief of not having a burden of creative thinking or consuming my time to research on certain topics on the internet. However, since the system is still at its infancy, the plausible information that it provides cannot be always reliable. However, it is still concerned about its academic misuses. As ChatGPT is designed to be user-friendly and is free, students might exploit ChatGPT's capabilities to cheat on assignments, or using the app to produce research papers and essays instead of doing the work themselves, so that there is some prevention in teachers and professors to have exams orally or handwritten in order to impede students exploiting AI. To summarize it, it has benefits that improved efficiency and accuracy, increased productivity, enhanced decision making, improved quality of life through improving communication, assistive technology, educational technology, automating repetitive tasks, improving decision making, while it also suggested job displacement, ethical concerns, security risks, and loss of privacy. As ChatGPT has demonstrated, easy-to-use generative AI can be practical and productive. However, there are also growing concerns about it. According to Cowdery, tech journalist of Business Insider, said there might be misapplication, misuse, and unintended or unforeseen consequences. And more importantly, it seems very, very plausible looking nonsense. As OpenAI has been subject to various critics and criticisms since its founding, Lomas, tech journalist of TechCrunch, also pointed out the limitation of ChatGPT. Some of the main critiques of OpenAI include lack of transparency, focus on short-term goals, potential conflict of interests, and limited scopes. Now, what would the future look like with the existence of ChatGPT? Wall Street Journal had a conversation with Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, and Satya introduced ChatGPT as an usher in the next industrial revolution, that the invention of the machine led to an increase in productivity and efficiency, which further led economic growth. And there certainly is a flood of money pouring into generative AI startups promising real-world applications. Microsoft showed their continued commitment to democratizing AI. However, while Microsoft expects AI integration in their general product, there were 10,000 layoffs, which is 5% of its workforce on January 18th. It seems quite contrasting at this moment that Satya previously insisted that the advent of this technology is for leveraging its power to enhance productivity of the current knowledge workers. My overall reflection on ChatGPT is that I believe that we should always ask a question first before the release of any kinds of technologies that will make the user passive or active self. With the presence of ChatGPT, we need to always be vigilant whether the useful technology makes us useless.